Hello, everyone. Advent is going to be starting very soon. Sunday, December 3rd, in fact, is the first Sunday of Advent. Something that we're going to do each in our own time, if we choose to, through this season of Advent, is walk through this devotional booklet, which I know is backwards, called In Light and Darkness by Illustrated Ministry. The inspiration for this comes from this book by Barbara Brown Taylor, Learning to Walk in the Dark. There are copies of the devotional printed and available in the narthex at church. And I'm going to attach a PDF of it as well. So if you want to just print a copy of your own or don't print it at all and save some trees, however you want to do it. The idea behind this is that we have this very binary idea of light and dark, and that they somehow, one is good and one is not. And that even this idea that the darkness is something to banish, that God is not present in the darkness. And we get this idea from Scripture because Christ is the light, right? And yet, there is so much more about it. And I know that there's times in my life that I've been in some of the darkest times when I have felt God most clearly and most closely. So we're going to walk through the darkness and through the light, knowing that they are part of each other. So each week there is a scripture passage. There's a couple pages of information that you can read, and then there's some questions each week. So what I will do each week is I'm going to do a very short recording, and it will give us the scripture passage, and I'll read that, and it will just give you, and I'll give you a couple of the questions to pique your interest, and then go to the devotional and look at it and make some notes. There's plenty of white space for you to make all the notes that you want in this. And if anybody ever wants to sit down and talk about it, I'm happy to do that. So for week 1, the scripture passage is one that we all know pretty well. And it is John chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. And it might sound a little different to your ear just because I am reading it out of this book, which is the Common English Bible, and it's the Women's Bible, with all the commentaries written by female scholars in theology and scripture. It's pretty phenomenal. John chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was with God in the beginning. Everything came into being through the Word, and without the Word, nothing came into being. What came into being through the Word was life, and the life was the light for all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness doesn't extinguish the light. So that's the scripture passage. And there's some really good ideas in here in this devotional about this passage. And then some of the discussion questions at the end. What do you notice in the night? And what are some of the consequences of thinking about light and dark as if they are in competition with one another? So those are just some things for you to think about as you begin your Thanksgiving week, as we start to come close to Advent and to the time when Jesus comes back into the world again and again and again. And I look forward to hearing what you think about this and listening to your thoughts. Have a good Thanksgiving, and I will see you on Sunday.